Let me talk about my encounter with Reinhard Bonke. So you have heard of Pastor Adeboye, you have heard of Kumuyi. And as I'm talking, I believe that power will be dropping on people. You have heard of Papa Oyedepo. Papa Oyedepo came for my daughter's wedding. That one is a constant. He came for my daughter's wedding. Visited me when my mother passed, personally. Now, Reinhard Bonke. Reinhard Bonke was coming to Makodi for crusade. My sister here was the protocol committee chairperson for that crusade. And she said to me, Reinhard Bonke will be coming and landing in Abuja. Can you help me pick him from the airport? I said, help? I should be thanking you for giving me such a privilege. So I organized protocol. We picked Bonke from the airport, and then he's to pass one night in Abuja before going to Makodi. I received him from the airport, straight to Sheraton Hotel where we booked for him. He lodged overnight. The next day, when he was going to go to Makodi, I was meant to go with them, but I decided not to go. I gave him an offering in foreign currency, in dollars, and then gave him a wristwatch. My mentality was, this man is on time. I want to be on time. And I said, pray for me, sir. I knelt down. He laid his hands on me. And he said, Father, whatever you felt on the cross of Calvary, before you sent your son, Jesus, to die, give him a portion of it. Jesus, what you felt on the cross while you were dying for the world, how your heart was, give him a little of that heart. Before then, I had experienced some manifestations, but there were dimensions of manifestations I was not seeing, no matter how hard I prayed or fasted. So he laid hands on me. Power. And when they wanted to go, I told the hotel, the room service, what do you call them? Porters, housekeeping. I told housekeeping, don't change the bedspread. Don't go to the room. Don't clean anything. Just leave it the way it is. I dived into that bed where he lay. I was in tongues for the next 10 to 11 hours, non-stop. Father, whatever grace laid on this bed, whatever grace laid on this bed, overnight, I connect. I connect. Whatever grace. As I prayed almost 12 hours, I became dizzy, like I was falling asleep. In between that junction of sleep and awake, I had a very drastic miracle encounter. An encounter that was clear that there was a transmission of a miraculous dimension of the supernatural. I saw raw like a creative miracle. Then I got up, slept back, continued the prayer. By the time it was daybreak, and I knew I had received what I wanted, I followed them to Makodi, joined them in the crusade. And then our relationship continued. Whenever Bonke was coming, he knows I will wait for him at the airport, receive him. So anytime we go to Ghana today, and John Dako is in Ghana, he will wait for us at the airport till tomorrow. I said, why? He said, when Bonke was alive, you always came to receive us at the airport. I now have to receive you. Bonke was in Abuja crusade. I was a prayer committee chairman. They said all the committees should bring their budget. I said, budget for what? Budget to pray? Pastor Abba was with me in that committee. I said, do you people want budget? Do you need money for the prayer? They said no. Because they can't look at my eyes and say yes. And he will not say yes because we are together. No way. Anything you need, I will provide it from my pocket. I will give you the drinks. We don't need a dime from Bonke. I will give you, provide everything, which we did. On the crusade ground, in Abuja Crusade, Bonke went to the altar to preach, brought out his hand and showed me. What is it? He said, see the watch you gave me. He was wearing the watch. Of all the watches in the world, during the Glory Dome dedication, he told him he wants to come. We were looking for plane to fly him. Sometimes I can say, I wish it was today. 2 planes can go at once. And then when Bonke was about to pass, he met him. Please tell us what he said. Your experience with him. Is this story doing anything to you?
We were in America for our conference, directors conference, and at the end of it, he sent a message to us that he would like to meet myself and my wife in his house. So we drove 3 hours to Palm Beach. That was where he was staying. Went up, we met him, and we had quite a lot of prayer and singing. It was wonderful. But he said we should have a meal. So once we sat at the table, he showed me a watch on his hand and asked me, John, do you remember the one who gave me this watch? I said, Pastor Bonke, we have so many pastors in Africa. How can I remember who gave you this watch? I said, oh, you've forgotten. This is from Pastor Paul. This was, it's a good point to put your hands together for Jesus. So this was given to him by Pastor Paul in Abuja. And I remember that incident. Then everything, I recollected everything. And then he said, when I go back to Africa, I should tell Pastor Paul, if you will not meet again here, you will meet him in heaven. That's it.
That was Bonke. His last crusade in Africa was in Lagos. We flew all the way to meet him. Met him in the little porter cabin. Pastor Paul, are you well? How is the place? How is everything? How is the ministry? Put something in his hands. Receive. So when you see crusades today, he saw the crusade, he said, this looks like a Bonke crusade. It didn't happen by chance.